Don't get on the wrong side of Schofe. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most heated Phillip Schofield moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll be looking at Phillip's most intense debates, controversies, and disagreements. Number 10 versus Deborah Hodge.
So, the number 4 features quite heavily. Four-bedroom house, 4 children, 4 different fathers, and you say that you the thing with you is you feel unapologetic in the fact that you've been led in down this path.
Number 4, Deborah Hodge made the bold decision to share her finances with the public, telling people she spent a huge amount of money on her kids for Christmas. The issue people took was that this money was claimed through benefits, and many slammed Hodge for splashing out on dogs, iPads, and other luxury goods, while thanking taxpayers for footing the bill.
With that £10 Christmas bonus, you bought 2 bottles of Prosecco. You are entitled, of course, to do that. Then you said, so cheers to the taxpayer for my extra £10 gift.
Phillip wasn't happy with her attitude either. There's no issue with being on benefits, but boasting about how much cash you have thanks to the benefit system, all because you choose not to work, is controversial to say the least.
And I don't drink Prosecco very often because it's got adverse effects, but I wanted to actually celebrate.
Well, it maybe makes you say stuff that you shouldn't say.
Number 9 versus Flowerpot.
Oh, you've moved now. Go back to where you were. Go back to where you were.
It's not always a guest that manages to cause frustration on This Morning. Phillip was especially annoyed when a flowerpot that was part of the set dressing blocked his line of sight one day, stopping him from seeing the TV screens that showed him what was going out live to the nation, as well as his teleprompter. He had to get up and show the viewers the placement of the flowerpot, which someone had put directly in front of the screen.
But they look so pretty, Phil.
Only I can see them.
In the end, he was forced to move the prop out of the way himself. Number 8 versus David Cameron.
You've heard the names.
This is one of the problems, Phillip, is I've heard all sorts of names being bandied around.
In 2012, Westminster was in the midst of a scandal involving child abuse and Conservative frontbenchers. Prime Minister David Cameron was interviewed by Phillip and Holly, and Phillip brought up the scandal and presented Cameron with a list he'd compiled of alleged abusers in Parliament.
I have those names there. Those are the names on a piece of paper. You know the names on that piece of paper. Will you be speaking to those people?
No.
He asked Cameron to take his list on board and talk to the accused to find out whether they were guilty. But Cameron wasn't having any of it. He expressed concern about Phillip's list, which he'd just taken off the internet, and thought it might turn into a witch hunt. The show was even investigated by Ofcom for the intense stunt.
And I'm worried about the sort of thing you're doing right now, giving me a list of names that you've taken off the internet.
Number 7 versus Andrea Williams.
Recognising gender fluidity conflicts sharply with your religious beliefs. It's not unreasonable to call someone a girl if they are born a girl. And that, in itself, could lead you straight back into the fire.
Even before he came out, Phillip was always a vocal supporter of LGBTQ rights. This was never clearer than in an interview with teacher Josh Sutcliffe and lawyer Andrea Williams, who believes parents have a right to prevent their children from learning about LGBT issues. Sutcliffe was disciplined for misgendering a trans pupil, though when he kept misgendering the pupil throughout the interview, Phillip called him out on it. He asked if it's hard for Sutcliffe to address the students by their preferred pronouns.
The students don't really know how to react to, it's not something that we're informing.
Shouldn't you be teaching them? Isn't that your job?
Phillip calls them abhorrent and points out that the Christians are actually disagreeing with the Church of England's official line, though they won't listen to reason.
It's a beautiful thing.
I'll let you, absolutely.
Thank you both very much.
Well,
Thank you so much.
We'll
Thank you.
get back to the show and back to 2017 and not medieval Britain in just a moment.
Number 6 versus Donald Trump. In April 2020, President Donald Trump made headlines once again for claiming that injecting people with disinfectant could help cure COVID-19.
He is recommending a drug that has been unproven. It could be dangerous. Some people have said it could kill you.
He was condemned from around the world for these comments, including by scientists and by his old friend Piers Morgan. who he unfollowed on Twitter as a result of criticism. Phillip Schofield wasn't far behind, warning the viewing public that they absolutely should not inject or consume bleach or household cleaners for any reason, and insults Trump's intelligence for recommending something like that.
It's incredible to think that anyone who could stand in front of that mighty White House sign could be so stupid.
Though Trump later claimed he was being sarcastic, immense damage had already been done. Number 5 versus Lady C.
For someone who allegedly moves in aristocratic circles, isn't this all a bit tawdry and undignified?
Scandalous aristocrat Lady C is no stranger to controversy. She proved that with her notoriously explosive outbursts on I'm a Celebrity. But she made her name writing an unverified biography of Princess Diana, then came out with a book about Meghan and Harry that was similarly unofficial. She was accused of basing her book on gossip, and Philip asked how she could continue to write about the royals when they refused to speak to her.
Paul Burrell, who'd have thought we'd quote him, but said of one of your previous books on the Queen, you can only be a true, reliable witness to history if you are there. Lady Colin Campbell was none of these things.
She calls him ignorant, and he points out that many respected royal commentators have said she's never even been seen with the royal family. She doesn't take kindly to this.
But you are a gossip.
What?
Well, you're a gossip.
Everybody's a gossip. Gossip is history in the making, or history that has already happened.
Only when it suits you.
Number 4 versus Gino D'Acampo.
Otherwise, they're going to say that I'm grumpy every time I come here.
Well, I don't
and
think
there is nothing better than to do on Monday
late.
morning than to come to this morning and cook.
Phil Vickery is just a call away.
Resident chef Gino appears on the show to teach people how to cook a risotto, but things get off to a bad start when Philip jokes that if his bad mood persists, they'll just call in Phil Vickery. Philip continues to torment Gino by saying it's not Gino's kitchen and tries to take over the cooking from him, much to his annoyance.
Oh, you were doing so well.
You are a guest in our kitchen. If I want to stand there, I'll stand there. If I want to stir these onions, I'll stir these onions, because these are essentially our onions.
When he makes fun of Gino's pronunciations, he thinks he might have pushed things too far, and that Gino might hit him with a pepper. By the end of the segment, Gino's almost completely run out of time to actually finish the risotto, thanks to their bickering wasting so much time.
They've just said that we've changed the end of the show. Can you just quickly read it? So we're just... that's what I was doing.
Okay, read it.
No, you don't have... what you do is you don't point it out.
Oh, I see.
As they cut off me then and cut to you, it gives me the opportunity
and you look
just to have a look at the end of the show.
If you talk to me and I'm looking somewhere else, how is it going to make you feel?
Number 3 versus the Flat Earthers.
So this guy with a laser debunks all the pictures?
No, it's not. That's the only thing. It's just an example of some of the experiments.
This Morning has always been a platform for people from all walks of life to share their beliefs and opinions, and Flat Earthers are no exception. 3 self-proclaimed Flat Earthers joined Phil and Holly on the sofa to explain their views.
And we can see the tips of the Pyrenees from the south of France, and you shouldn't be able to
can't see the base of them.
Well, of course not.
Because the Earth is round.
Philip makes it clear that he completely disagrees because he's seen the curvature of the Earth himself. They accuse him of either outright lying or being confused about what he saw, maintaining that the interviews the show has done with astronauts were completely fake and staged in studios. Philip can't believe what he's hearing and barely even entertains their strange ideas.
Let's do that, and we will... I'll come back here and apologise.
The space station can't zoom out to 230. It can't zoom out to beyond where...
So can we get a probe out? Can we get a probe out?
We've done that.
It's only 250
of the whole Earth, and showing aeroplanes flying upside down underneath the globe? Can we see that?
All we see is CGI.
There are apps that can show you that.
Number 2 versus Noel Edmonds. A rivalry was ignited when Noel Edmonds seemed to claim on Twitter that positive energy can help cure cancer, and negative energy can cause disease.
You said, is it possible your ill health is caused by your negative attitude?
A question. That's to a man who's got cancer.
Yes.
Just, if anything, it's insensitive.
Despite his arguing to the contrary, the tweet brought up on the screen clearly said just that, and he came to blows with Philip over this statement. Philip says asking a cancer sufferer on Twitter whether his illness was caused by his negativity is insensitive, to say the least, but Edmonds is persistent in his beliefs, including that his own cancer was caused by a bad attitude.
the healthiest people in the world get cancer, and it's not because they are negative.
Edmonds later criticised Phillip as being aggressive, and the feud continued for years.
People are going to get a little bit sceptical with the fact that you keep banging on about this £2,300 box, well, you know the people who were making it.
Number 1 versus Kim Woodburn.
You see, Phillip, you were not in there. I know what I went through.
Yeah, no.
I went through hell.
A lot of exaggeration, though. It seemed that what you were saying.
No, I'm sorry. You weren't there to know, were you, Phil?
She became hated in the nation after a particularly contentious run on Celebrity Big Brother, crossing many of the housemates, particularly Colleen Nolan. She appeared on This Morning to explain her behaviour in the Big Brother house, though she says she's only ashamed that she swore on telly rather than anything else she said or did.
So how much do they pay you?
It's nothing to do with you, Phillip, is it? What are they paying you?
Well, nothing to do with you.
Then don't be naughty. Thank you. Don't be cheeky.
She didn't think much of Phillip's questions when he suggested she should clean up after her fellow celebrities, or that she's exaggerating what happened. She later goes on the attack, arguing with Phillip and intimidating them so much that Holly hardly says a word.
Go in there and see what it's all about.
But I know why people reacted in the way that they reacted to you is because of the way you make me feel sitting on that sofa. You're already making me feel
controversial. I don't like you to, when I get on here,
confrontational.
have an attitude that I'm to blame. You know damn all about it.
We're just asking you a question.
No, you're not, Phil.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.